probably the shockwave player that's messing up, and that's why it's not working properly in the PowerPoint. But I can hardly.
So now we have Alex.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. We all good to go?
Yep.
Okay, I'm still in the middle of grading all of your exams, but it looks like most of you did pretty well in your exam from last week. We are moving on to a completely new topic now, however. And to introduce that, we will just watch this quick video. Is that loud enough?
Yeah.
Hi guys, I am a cell. You all know your body is made up of cells. Humans, animals, and plants are all made up of cells. We can only be seen under a microscope. Ah, so you want to know how we form a body? Many of us join together to form a tissue. Then tissues join together to make an organ. After that, organs join together to form an organ system. And all organ systems combine together to form a body. So now you know that we are very important. Now let me tell you about my internal parts. My parts are called organelles. Let's go inside my body. Each cell is surrounded by an external membrane which gives shape to the cell. This membrane allows certain substances to pass through it, thus controlling movement of material in and out of the cell. Oxygen and nutrients can pass in, and carbon dioxide and other waste material can come out of the outer membrane. The cell is filled with a jelly-like substance called cytoplasm. All organelles float in cytoplasm. Here is the nucleus. It is the control center of the cell. The nucleus has a membrane that has pores in it. These allow certain molecules to enter or leave the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, there is a small thread-like structure called chromosomes. Chromosomes carry genes, which are responsible for hereditary characters that are passed on from parent to cell to the new cells.
Okay, we won't watch the rest of that video because that goes into the next lesson. But so that's what we are talking about. So, skip that. So we are talking about the parts of a cell, and we will talk about all the insides next lesson. So, can anyone tell me anything that you know about a cell? Yes?
They're very small.
They are very small. Yes. Anything else? Yeah?
It has organelles.
It does. Someone's been watching the video. Yeah. That's nice. Yes.
It's got a cell wall.
Yeah.
They can divide by mitosis and meiosis.
Ooh, yes. That's the next lesson, but it's very good. Yes?
They combine together to make a tissue.
Yes, they do. So the cells make up our entire bodies. They're the little bits. We've got too many of them to count, and they make up everything that you are. So you are made up out of cells. Now, cells can have all kinds of different functions, but in principle we have two types of cells. Oh, sorry. This is what we're doing today. Should have had that before. So we're going to look at different types of cells, and we'll start with that right now. We'll look at some of the insides, and then we will look at drawing some cell diagrams. And then obviously next week we'll go into other parts. So, we've got two types of cells, which can have all sorts of functions, but it comes down to these two types. We've got plant cells and animal cells. So you'll find that for all animals, including us humans, that our cells are all very similar, and all plants have cells that are all very similar. Even though they all look different, their cells are very similar, and it's just that these cells have different functions inside of the body. So you can have a myriad of different types of cells in your body, but their structure are all the same. It's just what they do is different. So, this is an animal cell, and these are some of the main parts, and these are the parts we'll be talking about today. So, on the inside, we've got the nucleus, which controls everything that happens inside of the cell and controls what the cell does, and it holds the DNA, which makes up our bodies. And that's floating inside of the cytoplasm, which is just the stuff that allows us to do something. So it's like when you're boiling some soup, the cytoplasm is like the water. I know, very, very crude, but we're not going to be boiling ourselves, that's no good, but So cytoplasm is just what holds the cell together. It's what everything flows in. The cell membrane is what holds the cell together. It's the outside of the cell. It is in control of letting things in and out of the cell. So it will let things in so that the cell can do whatever it needs to do, and it will then pop the stuff out. So in the video, you might have seen that one of the main things that happens here is that oxygen goes into the cell. It activates whatever the cell needs to do, and then carbon dioxide comes out. Yes, so those are the parts of our cell. And this is a plant cell, and the plant cell is actually very similar in what is inside of it. That is the main parts. There are two main differences that we need to be aware of. Aside from the normal cell membrane that the animal cell has, a plant cell also has a cell wall. It protects the cells a little bit more than us for us animals, and it holds things together. It's why a lot of plants are a lot tougher than we humans are. And then the second main part that plants have that animals don't is this, which is called the chloroplast. And it's in charge of doing all the photosynthesis type things that plants do. So that's in control of the plant's breathing, if you will. So a plant doesn't have lungs, it's built into every single cell. This is a quick rundown of the parts of the cell. You will need to know these for your test coming up in a few weeks, but you get plenty of practice for this. If you want to make a quick note of those, that's quite okay. So, you can do very thinking about this later on in the lesson. But so, this here is a microscope slide of some animal cells. Usually these ones are cheek cells. So you can quite clearly see all of the cells inside. So what we're going to do in a second, we're going to do a quick activity. You're going to get one of these slides, and you're going to have to draw out one of these cells. You can pick whichever one you want, whichever one looks prettiest to you. I want you to draw it out, and then I want you to mark out the different main parts that you can see. So I want you to find these things inside of the cell and mark them on the diagram, just like we've done up here. So the first one that we've got is an animal cell. So if you want to take out a piece of paper and do a quick sketch of these cells, you can do that. Okay, so you've all quickly drawn this. Can anyone tell me what we have on the outside here? This is cell membrane. Okay, can anyone tell me what that one was?
Nucleus.
Nucleus, that's right. Nucleus. And what's on the inside of the cell? Cytoplasm. It's a funny word. Don't worry, they mention this quite a lot in your textbook, so you'll get practice in writing that word as well. So, then next up is our plant cell. You can tell that plant cells are a lot more structured. They're not just floating around like our animal cells. These ones are just floating around. These are all very structured, so you can do this. Okay, so this is a quick recap on what we've done in this lesson. So we know that cells make up everything that's inside of the body. We know that they're made up of a few main parts, and we now all know what those parts do. And we know that plant cells and animal cells are different from each other. So now what we're going to do is around the room you'll see some imaginary microscopes, and they've all got some slides in it. So I want you to go around, have a look at those cells, draw up your diagram, mark out the parts, and then when you're done, we will have a quick discussion about that.
Good job.